Let's welcome St. Catharines Mayor Walter Sendzik. Welcome to the program, Walt.
Good to be back, Mike.
Walter, I just watched a very inspirational video. St. Catharines is the place for change. This is a video produced by Invest in STC. How did it come about?
Well, it's an opportunity for us to showcase that we're going through a change as a community, as communities across Canada are going through. And the Economic Development Department really took the lead on this, and businesses are struggling in every community, including ours. And so what we wanted to do was show that we're going to lead the change through this. You know, we're by no means are we out of the woods yet when it comes to the impact of the pandemic on our community. We want to assure the public, and we want to show our businesses that we're there to lead with them, that it's going to, the economic rebirth of our community, if you will, coming out of the pandemic will depend on the strength of our businesses. And so we wanted to showcase that our businesses are open. We're opening more and more businesses every day, and they're going to be on the front lines, really, of the economic revival of St. Catharines. So it's a pretty inspirational clip. For me, it's a video that inspires hope. It inspires the desire as a community to move forward together, and it also instills in me a sense of pride of our community.
I can't remember if I saw people wearing masks in the video, but we have to talk about the mask bylaw that you as a council decided to put forward. And today, Wednesday, region looking at the mask bylaw for the entire area of Niagara. How do you feel about this mask bylaw? Did it take a lot of courage to put this through with a lot of people discussing the opposite side of things?
Yeah, this is a very complex issue, and I think it's probably one of the most complex issues that we've faced as a community in generations. And the reason why I say that is because it impacts every individual in different ways. Whether you have a medical issue, whether you're looking at ways and means to get out into the public, you have anxieties about being in a public space now, and you feel that the mask is an important piece of relieving that anxiety. So, Mike, there's a science behind it. There's also the emotions behind it. There's people who feel about their civil liberties. There's so much that goes into this discussion. And so I don't think anybody's taking it lightly, and we're going to see what's going to happen at the region tonight. But what we're seeing is Ottawa is going forward with it. Hamilton is going forward with it. Toronto has done it. Guelph has done it. Kingston has done it. And a lot of it has been influenced by the medical officers of those regions. And so it's going to be important that we follow the medical advice, but also protect our community, Mike.
This intense heat makes it difficult for some to want to put on that mask, but it also takes the onus off of the store owners who might have a sign out front saying masks are mandatory, where they can't really truly enforce that and could end up in a situation where there is some conflict between them and a customer. You know,
there was a day where you could walk into a store with bare feet and no shirt on, even though no one would want to see me with a no shirt on. And there was regulations brought in that would say no shirt, no shoes, no service. There's been no challenge on a human rights issue on that one. And so this is the same concept of if you don't have a mask, you're not going to get service. It still is largely a private space. So when you walk into a business, it's a private environment. It'd be different if we were telling people in parks that you have to wear masks. That is a public space of which there's much more discussion about what the rights of the individual are. When you walk into a Costco and they say you have to wear a mask, that's their right to because they're also trying to protect their staff as well. So what I explain to people is that you look at a store, if they have to close down for 14 days because there was been an outbreak in their store, do you imagine the economic loss of that outlet, that store? So we're trying to balance all of the interests of the community. And it's tough to do. These aren't easy decisions.
Speaking of public spaces, outdoor public spaces, Sunset Beach has been a source of controversy over the last little while. What changes are being put into place to make sure that it's not overcrowded, that it's not people aren't gathering and ignoring social distancing?
Yeah, that's a tough one for us, and it's compounded by the 35-degree weather. We haven't had a break in more than 2 weeks in terms of the weather, and so we're hoping Mother Nature does her part in the next little while to try and alleviate some of this. But the reality is we've got security there at the gates. We're closing the gates at nighttime. There's limited hours from 8 until 9 at night, from 8 in the morning to 9 at night. We're limiting the number of cars that are parked in there. We're working with the Niagara Regional Police. We're issuing more parking fines. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening. And, we just have to remind the public that this is not a space in which to go and congregate in large groups. Go cool off, spend some time with your family, but keep that distancing and make sure that you're not doing anything of a nuisance that would disturb the neighborhood around there.
Last week, an announcement, $40 million in funding for transit. That's huge.
Right. Yeah, and it goes to the infrastructure of the transit system here in St. Catharines, but there was investments made in Welland, in Niagara Falls, and St. Catharines, and it was a provincial and federal announcement. They both have contributed significantly, and it really does invest in the future of public transit here in Niagara, and it is going to be the cornerstone of what we're going to see when we go towards a truly amalgamated transit system here in Niagara, and that's coming. It's coming quick. And when it does come, these kind of investments will help strengthen that connectivity between, Welland, St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, Fort Erie, Thorold. It makes that connectivity on public transit, which really does reduce the barriers when people who can't afford to have cars or choose not to have cars, they're able to move about our community in a much more efficient way.
Another big announcement yesterday from Premier Ford about twinning of the Garden City Skyway. Did that sort of come out of left field in yesterday's press conference?
I guess it was a bit of left field because we weren't given a heads up that he was going to mention it. It's been on the books since 2010. They've done a lot of behind the scenes work. They being the Ministry of Transportation has done a lot of work behind the scenes. I think what Premier Ford was signaling is that one of the revivals of our provincial economy is going to be through significant infrastructure projects. And when you look at a project like that the first bridge was built before I was born, and it was a significant build for anybody who could remember that build. It was significant, created a lot of jobs, and it took a number of years. This project will have the same magnitude, creating the same amount of jobs and investment in our surrounding community, and it really does point the way forward for what our infrastructure is going to look like over the next 50 years, which is a renewed highway system. We have a marine system. We have a rail system. We are perfectly designed as a region to be a important nexus when it comes to transportation for Ontario into the greater North American economy.
One last question related to that, because I'm kind of curious. I know right now between St. Catharines and Niagara-on-the-Lake, there's discussion of a Glendale area master plan. How would the Twin Bridge fit into that master plan? Has it already been taken into consideration?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike. And it already has. So that was part of the importance of getting that Glendale district plan done so that they're able to merge the two developments, because you wouldn't want to have that plan completed and then have the government come in and say, oh, we're taking up all this land because this is where the new highway is gonna sort of drop into. So it's all been done concurrently, and that looking forward to the creation of that plan, the evolution of that plan as well.
Perfect. Thank you for your time today, Mayor Sendzik.
Now, I just want to give a shout out to my son. Happy birthday. It's his birthday today, Willem. Happy 15th birthday. It's been one heck of a year, and you'll always remember your 14th and 15th year because of the COVID-19.
Well, wish him a happy birthday from us here at your TV as well.
I will. Thanks, man. Take care.